Aww, yeah, son. People out there in TV land, welcome to the official DLC Guys podcast show. I am your host, Matt Bailey, along with my two equal but totes fresh co-hosts, Cody Barrett.
Not my goodies.
And Mr. Xander Todd.
Oh, yeah.
And we are coming at you live from the DF Dub for episode number 2, circa July 10th, 2017. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Yeah.
Doing good.
All right. Can y'all say any more than that?
Nah.
It's a beautiful... I don't know.
Having a good day with some good friends.
Well, I'm all right with that. That's all we're here. We are the DLC guys, and we are just friends that came together, decided to talk about video games, and do a podcast. And we are here for your listening enjoyment. So we appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thanks.
We appreciate the likes. And gentlemen, what is the news that we have this week? Do we have any did anything interesting happen this week?
As far as games, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, this week was kind of...
But Cody, what's coming out this week?
Man, honestly, I don't think there's anything I'm getting that's coming out this week. I'll run down the list real quick, and we can talk about anything that stands out to you guys. Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age, PS4 exclusive. Minecraft story modes.
Real quick, I got a question about that. Like, okay, the Final Fantasy 12, like, that's a game that came out like a few years ago, right? Or maybe like last year or something?
No,
it was like
12 was a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay, well then what's the one that I keep seeing at E3 like the past 2 years? They keep making like
15 and 15 is the one that they just came out with this year.
Are they making like
16 in 2016?
Are they making like little mini games for it? Is that what's going on?
I think it's like DLC for
the really stupid fishing thing. That was just so stupid.
I don't even know.
Like,
I don't know what that is.
I can't keep up with how they name games.
Just really can't. Chalk that up to me being foolish.
Yeah, I don't stay on top of them anymore. Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 1. That's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. We've got MotoGP 17, PS4. Fable Fortune, Xbox One, PC. The Bellows for PSVR. Black the Fall for PC, PS4, and Xbox. Then we have Day D Tower Rush for PS4. Derelict Fleet, also PS4. Echoes of the Fae, The Fox's Trail, PS4. Fantastic Contraption, that's a PSVR. Hunting Simulator for PS4. Iron Cryptical, PC, PS4, and Xbox. Leap of Fate for the PS4. Mr. Pumpkin Adventure for the Vita.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just like, I don't know it.
I need that.
Mr. Pumpkin Adventure. That's genius.
That should have came out in October.
Then we have the the Nintendo Switch game. Well, Nintendo Switch and PC. Mr. Shifty. That's coming to PS4 this month.
Okay.
Serial Cleaner for PS4, Xbox, and PC. Then we have Transport Giant for PS4. Warlocks and Shadows PS4 and Yama Yama PS4. Couple more games here. For PC, we have The End Is Nigh. PS4 gets Energy Balance. That's on July 12th, Then on July 13th, we have As Divine Cross for 3DS and Frisky Business for PS4.
I would say this.
That is a huge list for nothing to be happening.
Nothing at all.
I got an idea. Listeners, comment a game that we should be playing out of that list.
Please.
Yeah.
Because, I love a good indie game. But sometimes it's just so hard to just try to search through. It's like trying to search through a good DVD at the $5 DVD bin at Walmart. Like, you're going to waste your time.
Right.
You already know you're going to waste your time.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Minecraft, ever since Microsoft acquired... Was that Microsoft?
Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft acquired Minecraft. They have been pumping out some stuff for Minecraft.
Yeah, they have.
I'll give them that.
I don't know if y'all played it recently, but they have a lot of mini games.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of online mini games.
They do,
which are pretty fun. But
they're kind of like the Search and Destroy kind of Slayer. Thing that they had. I thought that was pretty fun.
It was like a survival one too, where you were on this big old platform and you had to kind of like eliminate the bricks.
Oh yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah,
I've played that.
Yeah.
Wow. Was it fun?
Nah.
That's a slow week.
Yeah, it's been a pretty slow week for games.
Is there any deals?
Deals.
You know what?
What were we talking about earlier? The deals. I just lost it. I'm sorry.
PlayStation actually had a few deals. PlayStation has their
Mid-year.
75%. Yeah, the mid-year deals where it's like 75%, 80% off of some games.
I did get Shadow of Mordor game of the year edition for $3.99.
Ooh, that's nice.
I picked up. Did you get what was it? Battlefield or
No,
Battlefront?
I still haven't used my $15 credit from E3.
I got Battlefront with that.
Did you?
Yeah, I got Battlefront and I got NAC too. I got NAC.
I might have to get Battlefront.
NAC was only $4.99, so it only cost like $1.50.
And the Battlefront, have you played it yet?
No,
It's the Ultimate Edition though.
Yeah,
So you get everything
yeah.
for $9.99.
That's awesome.
I might get it. I mean, I got that $15 credit. I might get it just to play it to get ready for. Because I think it's always a greater sense of enjoyment when you go from the first game to the second game because you know the jumps that it made, the progression that it made. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I might get it.
Yeah, and I also downloaded what we talked about last show, Until Dawn.
Yeah.
So
How do you like that?
I actually haven't played it yet. I've downloaded all the games. I haven't had time to play it. I was moving my mom and stuff this past weekend, so I will hopefully this week between now and the next show, I'll be able to have a little bit of time to play it and
Madden was
let you guys know. Oh yeah,
Madden
it was.
17.
But that's Madden 17.
bad.
I was thinking about getting it, but then I was like, you know what? 18 is about to come out, and it's got the story mode.
Yeah.
So I would really like to play that story mode. So I'm just gonna go with that.
My rule for Madden has always been buy a year, skip a year.
Yeah.
Buy a year, skip a year.
That's best.
So I had Madden 16. I was tempted to get it at $9.99, but I'm like, man, it's 18 is such a big jump, like with the story mode, that I'm just gonna wait.
I looked out and got Madden when it was free.
Free?
Yeah, 16 when they had it for free.
Madden 17 is free, and FIFA 17 and NHL 17.
Here you go.
They're free on EA Access.
I know.
But
EA Access is awesome.
But that's not free.
It's $30 a year.
Let's talk.
And you know what they announced? This is why I wanted to talk about EA Access. Because you were talking about Battlefront, being excited for that. We've already got Battlefront on there. We've got Battlefield 4 plus all of the backwards compatible EA games.
Does it have like
Mass Effect
Hardline
1 through 3 are on there. Hardline's on there.
I did not realize that was an EA game.
Yeah. All of
or
those.
EA franchise.
What is
Dead Space is in there. Peggle 2, both Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare.
Big guy.
And they announced this September they're bringing Titanfall 2 and what's the other one? Battlefield 1. Both of those are going to be on
you have to
the vault.
have great internet to stream it?
They don't stream. You download to your hard drive and you play them locally.
So what happens when you stop paying for the service?
It'll just, when you try to launch it, it'll just tell you you need to review your memberships.
How much is it? Is it like
$30 a year?
30 a year?
Absolutely worth it.
30. Okay, I thought it was like 15 a month. That's the only reason I haven't.
No, it's 30 a year.
If it's 30 a year, then
you can't get it on. It's not on PlayStation. So
I'm gonna have to jump in.
Here's another topic as a PS4 owner. Please, PlayStation, get rid of PS Now. If you're not going to lower the price,
right?
If you're not going to lower the price, get rid of it because that's the only reason we don't get EA access.
It should be 10 a month.
We don't get, it should be 10 a month.
Yep.
I think 10 a month is a good price because it's like the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah.
Like, but what is it now? 30 a month?
It's 20, I think.
20 a month?
Is it?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
That's too much.
It is.
That's too much.
Give us some better games. Like
I do
most
like
of it's
the games.
PS3 though.
It's all PS3.
I
but
mean,
they did announce this news came out last week that they were going to start getting more PS4 games because when they kind of launched this, the PS4 is kind of new.
Yeah.
When they first launched PS Now, so they'll be getting more PS4 games, but still at that price point. I tried the 7-day trial. Another thing is that you have to have extremely good internet. I mean, like top tier internet.
Like, yeah.
And a lot of people complained about saves. Like they will play a game, like if you play a game like Uncharted, and then you go back and your save is gone, like that.
Yeah, that's
that
annoying.
kills your whole. Like you're not gonna play it again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, because everything is streamed, right?
Yeah, everything is streamed.
Wow.
Your clouds are on whatever remote system they're streaming from.
Yeah,
Or your clouds, your saves are on the cloud.
So, PlayStation have some work to do on that front, and they know it because I know that I have not met a person yet, a PlayStation owner yet, that says that I love PS Now.
Wow. So is EA the only developer that has a service where you can access all of their games? Is EA the only ones?
It's not all of them. It's just like the selected ones they put in the vault.
yeah.
But yeah, I think so far.
The ones you name were.
Those are top tier games.
It's their blockbuster. Like Mirror's Edge 2 is on there. If you look at their list, they give you every blockbuster
I know that's one
game.
of Matt's favorites.
Dragon Age is on there.
Dragon Age?
Inquisition, the newest one.
Yeah.
Basically, they give their games about, from what I've seen, about 8 months to a year, and then they throw it in the vault and you can play them.
I would love to see. They have to be losing money. They have to be losing money.
I mean,
if I know this game is coming out and I'm only playing $30 a month, like
a year.
A year. I might.
So
wait,
but here's the thing.
Madden on
here's
there?
the thing. Yeah, they put Madden in there.
But it's after Madden launch.
Madden 17's on there now. That's the current version.
So just say Madden 18 comes out.
Is it going to be available day one?
No, like 8. One thing that they do for brand new games, I think maybe it's just a couple days, but I feel like it's like a week in advance. They let you download the game and play a 10-hour trial.
Okay.
And if you decide to buy it in the future or you play the vault version of it, you can pick up where you left off. Your saves are local and everything. So it's a great service. I've had it since they launched it. I have not gotten rid of it. I love it.
Yeah.
It kind of entices me. Like I would probably subscribe to it if they made the games available maybe 30 days after launch or something like that.
Do that.
They would lose so much money.
Yeah.
Right, but
see, in this way, they're getting money from people like you who pay for Madden once every 2 years.
Yeah.
They're getting money from people who just off of, it's kind of an impulse thing because you might be sitting there browsing through your library and say, I don't really have a lot to play right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you look at the vault and, EA's added 3 new games.
Yeah.
Maybe I should step into this, Because I wouldn't pay for NHL 17, but EA will get my money because they can give me that and UFC 2 and
UFC 2 is on there too.
it's all on there. Everything.
I know I'm off on a tangent, but I've been wanting that game and I've been waiting on it to go on sale, and it stays at the same price point.
Is it like 44?
It's 35 now, but it's been like that forever.
Yeah.
At GameStop, used. And even in the PlayStation Store. So
wow.
I might even get, like, if I had a chance to get EA access, like, because I like the UFC games.
And if you like their sports games at all, I mean, they're one of those companies that do annual
NBA
releases.
Live.
Right. But they do their annual releases, so I'd much rather spend that and just get their sports games late. That's just me, though.
I feel you. Well, gentlemen, and ladies who are listening.
A gentleman.
Hey, yo.
Gentlemen's. Let's get to our main topic for today. You know what? Before we even get to that. No, keep it. Listeners, as you have already heard, my voice cracks. It does. Get over it. That's all I got to say.
Snap, crackle, and
Something
pop.
about
It
you.
happens.
I'll find your email password, and I'll send you stuff that you don't want.
I have a particular set of skills. And these skills.
Like AOL internet advertisements.
No, but I talk at work all day. So by the time we record this at night, my voice is pretty much gone. So my voice is going to crack. You know what? Let's make it a game. Let's see how many times. You listeners count how many times my voice cracks in each show. When I get up to 1,000 cracks, I'll give something away. I'll buy a game and I'll give it away.
1,000 cracks.
1,000 cracks.
When I get up to 1,000 cracks, you tell me exactly how it was, when it happened, and be able to catalog them. And I'll buy you a free game. Whoever does it first.
You listeners at home, Be sure to drink when he cracks.
Who am I?
Okay.
Who am I?
I don't know. So,
The topic.
The hot topic. Give me the
wait,
hotness.
even before the hot topic.
Give me the hot topic grits.
A board. A severed head. A sink.
Where are we?
That's for you guys to decide. Man, I'm just giving you guys gems. Like we might hit 1,000 today.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no. So, guys, the main topic for today, we were actually talking about the perception of games and how difficult they were back then on earlier generations of consoles versus what we play now, and how does that translate? What do we consider hard? What is a game, or what makes a game hard? And one of the things that I was thinking that I wanted to ask you guys is, think about the last few games that you've been playing pretty heavily. Have they really seemed hard to you? Because for me, I feel like the games really aren't that hard. They may be a little bit challenging, but they give you absolutely everything that you need in order to beat the game. And nothing is there hasn't been a game in a very long time that I've said, you know what, I can't beat this. This is just ridiculous.
So first of all, this news came up because, as we know, Crash Bandicoot, the little trilogy pack came out, and everybody online was talking about how hard Crash Bandicoot 1 was. Like, people were like, was it this hard when I played it the first time?
Right.
And I went back and looked at some of the gameplay. I didn't pick it up. I just couldn't pick it up. I don't know why. But I love Crash Bandicoot, and looking at the gameplay, I remember some of those levels, and I remember having to take breaks and come back to the game, like, the next day to try to beat it. Like, it would be so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, it would be less checkpoints. Like, it was so, like, what's the word? Like, it will punish you for not.
It was deflating.
Yes.
Deflating is like once you get to a certain point. That's how I actually felt like that. I'm glad you brought that up, because one game that actually reminds me of Crash Bandicoot is actually the Trial series, where that's actually a recent game where I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to beat this because it's just ridiculous. Now that's a game that's hard, because to me, I classify a hard game as something that takes strategic skill and execution to get done at a specific time.
Yeah. That's the good kind of hard game.
Yeah, in a very small window,
right?
For mistakes. Like, you don't have any room for a mistake. I think a lot of platformers are naturally like that, and I know that on the SNES we got a lot of platformers.
That stands for Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
One of the hardest platformers for me would probably be like Castlevania. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's it wasn't Castlevania 2 given the award of hardest game ever or something like that.
I haven't heard that.
I thought I remember seeing something like that.
I know it was tough.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, before we move too far away from Crash Bandicoot, I actually read a follow-up article in relation to what you were speaking of. There was, I think it was a group of streamers, like some people who were just speedrunning the game, the remasters. They actually found that the reason jumping seems so hard in the remasters versus the PS1 version, they've actually side-by-sided them, and the PS1 version is actually easier to jump than the remaster. The developer sanded off the edges of the hitboxes on platforms a little bit.
Wow.
And it makes the jumping and landing a little bit off from what it used to be, so you can't quite jump as easily at the edge of a platform, is what I've read.
Oh, okay.
That's some real in-depth, like...
Was it for the artistic?
Congratulations.
Interesting.
Congratulations.
Was it because of, like, the way it looked? Like,
I think honestly it may have just been because the hitboxes, they don't have to be visually noticeable.
Yeah.
It's just wireframe, behind the scenes things that are running. So I don't know if this is something they're going to patch and make it closer to the original, a little more true to the source material. But I would think they should, if it's making the game hard unnecessarily.
So Cody, what was one of the games when you were what was the hardest game you played?
A game that just made me, that's tough. A lot of the games that I kind of sit down and play are story driven, so not always the hardest games. I love Zeldas, I love RPGs, I love adventure games, and I love. And I don't know what that was. So I love adventure games and I love story narrative driven games as well. So those aren't typically too hard, especially in recent years. But you know what? I was actually going to use Trials as an example. So I'm glad you said that. But what Trials does that I think gets it right about a difficult game is that it makes it so accessible to instantly retry that section you just did. There's little checkpoints. You can just hit button B or circle or whatever it is, and you're right back to where you were.
And the way it's set up is like you don't want to quit.
That's the kind of That's the kind of game that I like a challenge in. Same for Rocket League. I'm stuck on Rocket League. It's short matches. You mess up one game, okay, you're right back to it in 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
It's more in depth than what I thought it was at first. I'm still not to the level where, I feel like I fell so far behind.
Yeah.
Like when I get on there now, it's like no point.
Yeah. So for that game, I like a game that's hard, but it's not punishing due to its mechanics.
Yeah.
A game that I recently played the last couple months, a PC indie game called Slime Son. It's really challenging. It's a platformer, but it's challenging because the controls are real tight and you have to make really minute changes to controls to get through the portion you're trying to get through.
Bringing up that game, I haven't played that game, but it makes me think about how indie games can be hard. Like, they can give you that difficulty.
Yeah, sure.
So why do you think indie games offer that and not the huge developer games?
I think that indie games do that because it's usually just like a group of people, like a handful of people, and they're more in tune with what gamers really, really want to play. They're not just working or making the game. I mean, no offense to anybody that actually works and codes for like EA, the bigger companies, but it seems as though the smaller indie companies have more of a in-depth touch with the everyday gamer, so they make games that are a little bit more challenging, and they're not just trying to get through a story. They're trying to make something that's interesting.
A game that came to mind was Hotline Miami.
Yeah,
that was
that's cool.
Like top-down shooter, and it like you would get punted. Like,
oh yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. Like when I first turned it on, I thought it was, this is gonna be a cakewalk. It was tough.
It's hard,
and it was good though.
Yeah,
it was a good tough. Like I really liked that. Like, Matt, what are some of the games that you've played?
As I was talking about before,
give us one from like earlier, and then one from today.
Before you do that, I just want to add to your point that you made, Matt, when you were talking about indies versus the AAA developers. Another reason I think that indies they kind of, in many cases, they can be a little more challenging than a AAA game, is that they're not really too concerned, usually because they don't have the resources. They can't compete with a AAA developer in terms of realism, in terms of sound design, usually, in terms of like an epic scale funded game. You know what I mean? So they go into things and they kind of think about, well, how can I make a game stand out without looking as good as the newest Assassin's Creed or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think in a lot of cases they focus on just really, really tight controls, getting a game that is fun to move around in. It's not always 2D games, but I mean in that situation, it's a lot easier for a game to become challenging when it's kind of based in skill and not on grand adventures, riding a horse, things that don't require perfect timing with controls. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. That's pretty well said.
Oh, thanks.
I couldn't have said it any better, but it was pretty well said too.
Don't blow up my head though.
Hey, that was well said too. Congratulations. Xander, to answer your question, I would say one game back in the days, the earlier console, that was pretty hard, that I felt was challenging, took me a long time to really beat and master. Basically any game in the Mega Man franchise. Mega Man.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It took a lot of skill. Granted, it was just, you're just shooting and you're jumping, trying to avoid different things, but the jumps, of course, the further you get on, the harder the jumps are, the more strategy you have to use in using RJ, the robot dog, and kind of finding which weapons work to kill any specific enemy a lot quicker, because once you get in there, there's a lot of different environments that come into play, like water worlds, electric worlds. You have to jump that while avoiding being shot at by whatever boss that you're fighting, and different kind of things like that. So that would be my hard game for back then. Now I would say it was a little bit of toss up between two that came to mind. The hardest game that I think I've played recently, within the past at least five or so years, had to be actually it was right about 10. Super Street Fighter. Playing the arcade mode, that was really, really tough.
Yeah.
It took me about half a year to actually beat it.
Jeez.
Because I love fighting games. I love fighting games, but it took me so long because I actually wanted to master whatever character I was playing with. And I played with Ken, and I got to a point where I was playing every single day. And every single day, like the emotions that are tied to consistently losing all the time, that's what drove me to keep going every single day. As soon as I would get home from work, I'd go and play for maybe 30 minutes or so. If I didn't get it, get pissed off, go eat something, watch some Netflix, and then try and figure it out whenever I calm down. But that and Trials, I'd have to say, would be the other one. It's such a fun game. Love doing flips off of there. But there's a point where you have to be intuitive enough to know how to use the bike, how the rider is going to react, and I guess be in tune with what you're doing and how the environment's going to react with the bike. Yeah. So if you've never played it, I highly suggest that you play it. It is such a fun, addictive, and like that game made me so mad playing it, just because I would be on a stage for literally an hour. Oh yeah. Just trying to figure it out, and then I would go online and see just people running right through it.
My wife leaves the room when I play that game. She can't take the repetitiveness, because I'm constantly restarting. And I won't move on to the next level unless I get at least 2-3 stars. I want.
Yeah, you got to go in and complete it.
Yeah, because I don't want to come back to it to unlock more stuff. So
yeah,
it's a great game.
I would say I know I named Castlevania, but I would think. That's a little older, but Metal Gear Solid
was, for NES?
No, for
that's Metal
PlayStation.
Gear. That's the first one. My bad.
It was. I think the reason why it was so tough. It was tough by itself, and then that was my first introduction to stealth in a game. Yeah. Where you would get punished for that. You cannot. You just can't go guns a-blazing. Yeah. No, I would say I'm probably going to get beat up for this one, but I think because the repetitiveness of it causes it not to be as hard. But when I first played the raids on Destiny, those would be hard. You could spend at least 3 to 4 hours. because you go into the raid not knowing anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different, like, they don't even, if you're going into it blind, like, it would be parts of it where you have to take out this one before you take out this one, or you have to do them, like, take them out at the same time. There would be different, like, let's take the Vault of Glass.
Yeah.
With the oracles. Like, when the oracles first start popping up, you're like, oh, that's a shining light. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you're dead. Like,
right. Wait, are we supposed to shoot these?
And then,
these aren't friendly.
Yes. And then a relic drops down, a shield. You're like, okay, I got a shield. You don't know that you have to take down the, I forgot the name of the little monster, but you have to take down the shield. So I think Destiny was a pretty tough game. I think the repetitiveness of it made it easy, because once you do something 1,000 times, I mean, it's just easy.
Yeah, we as humans are number one creatures of habit, and we're also learning creatures of habit.
Yeah.
So anytime we do something for the first time, if we fail at it or realize that we fail at it, of course we're going to learn from it, and then we're going to get better, just like Tony Romo. Get better and better every day.
Let's go to the next topic.
Never forget.
Did I give a difficult game? What did I say?
You said Trials, and you said, what was your old
I said
didn't give an old one, I don't think.
No, you didn't give
my pick.
What's your old one?
Ninja Gaiden for Xbox.
Oh, yeah. That
Dude,
was.
I bought that game on release day, and I was playing on just standard easy mode, like wussy handhold mode.
The first Ninja Gaiden was tough.
This is what I'm talking. You mean on NES?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking the Xbox.
Okay.
The Team Ninja Tecmo. Well, I guess it was Tecmo back then too, but that game was awesome, and I only got to like the 4th level and couldn't beat it anymore. I sold it to my friend Roger, and this guy, he used to come over to my house and he'd just bring his Xbox and stay for the weekend, whatever. Even though I have an Xbox, he'd bring it because his saves are there.
Did your friend Roger happen to live in a town called Bluffburg?
No.
Okay.
I don't know who you're talking about. Different Roger.
Bluffburg.
But Roger would come over with his Xbox, and he'd stay for the weekend. He ended up buying Ninja Gaiden from me, and I watched this guy get to a point where he was beating that game in like 5 hours.
Wow.
Like world record contender times. And he would just, as soon as he finishes it up, he'd play it on master difficulty, and he'd go back and upgrade all of his weapons all the way. And as soon as he finished it, he would just start a new game on the hardest mode he could and see if he can beat his last time. He did that for like a year. That's all he played.
Wow.
Crushed it. Made me look stupid. But that game's so hard, I sold it to my friend. Can't do it.
I said it was Doug.
Thanks.
It was Doug. They lived in, was it? No, it was Bluffington. He said oh, man.
The joke's landing.
I got a question for y'all coming back in.
Wait.
So, thinking about like playing hard games and how they challenge you, would you want more hard games?
Yes. Yes, I would. It's a resounding yes, because I was actually talking to my brother about this last night, and I would like more challenging games because there's something like I said before. There's an emotional reaction that you have. Think about the last really, really, really hard game that you beat.
Dark Souls.
When you finally get over it, when you finally beat it, it's like you can walk out the house naked. Like, real talk. You can walk out the house naked. It's like, yo, I just beat that game.
Do you want co-op or single player?
To me, it doesn't even really matter. Like what you were talking about earlier with Destiny. That was another game that I was thinking about. The raids were extremely hard. And still to this day, if they have the Nightfall, that's what the daggone war set. All my people out there trying to do that play Destiny. If you wanted to do the Nightfall, you only had 2 people, or you were trying to solo it, and it was the war set.
And don't let Arcburn be on with the war set.
Oh my gosh,
you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, you
don't even get past the first
Arcburn.
Yeah, that
Cody, we're gonna have to baptize you, man.
yeah, you're gonna be getting some Destiny 2 gameplay.
Yeah, you're gonna be getting some Destiny 1 gameplay because we're gonna go through the whole thing with you.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
I still haven't decided.
we got
what
like a month and a
character
half.
I'm gonna delete.
And we got people out there. We're gonna be recording a little bit of gameplay. We're gonna be taking Cody through Destiny 1 from the beginning, and we want you guys to tune in.
It's gonna be so good for him
on
though, because
YouTube.
they updated so much.
Yeah, they did.
It's gonna. He's not gonna have to deal with the vault space. He's not gonna have to deal with picking up every green Ingram, or picking up a purple Ingram and getting a blue item,
or picking up a legendary and or picking up an exotic only to get a purple.
Yes, yeah.
You won't have to deal with all that.
Thank the Lord. You guys made it sound so bad.
Now,
It was. I mean, the grind of Destiny was amazing. I loved it.
Yes.
When I got on the game, I loved it. Me and Xander were on there all the time, grinding. It was always a catch up game because Xander was that dude. He would grind. I'd be like,
so like, I don't know what you call it. Like,
I think Xander would lie to me and say, "Hey, I'm getting off. I'm sleepy," or act like he was asleep, and then Xander was infamous for falling asleep on you while you were playing a game.
No,
I used to do it too, though.
Oh yeah,
I did it.
GTA races, and I'm just
two
off the
times.
cliff.
I did it 2 times.
No, you didn't. You did it way more than
It
2.
wasn't.
I think you're remembering me, man.
Yes.
I used to fall asleep playing GTA.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
it was me
that's
2
true.
times, and then. But
We'd be in a tight race, and
Yes.
I just go off a cliff, and y'all never hear from me again.
or playing Minecraft,
Right?
Oh yeah,
And like
the days of Minecraft.
Sleepy
yes,
time, man. Lights
I know.
out.
You guys, I think I still
That
have
music
some of that
was
footage.
so calming.
Oh, it does it.
I think I
Plus the
actually,
rain.
I think I actually have some footage of us. One of the last times we were playing Minecraft. You know what? I'm gonna look through my archives and see what I have.
Oh,
see
the
if we can
archives,
post that.
huh?
Yeah,
You got dedicated archives?
I got. I do have dedicated archives.
Yeah, but man, that's another topic about Destiny. But
We could go on for days.
You guys keep going back to the grind nature of games. That's really a big thing in the last couple years. What it comes from ultimately, and I've thought about it a bit, is mobile games. Mobile games blew up, and they realized what keeps instinctually keeps people hooked are long grind sessions with constant rewards.
yeah,
And so many games. Borderlands went into it first for consoles, probably. I mean, there's always been games where you grind for loot and things, but there's so many games now. Rocket League's included in that.
you
your
got
fighting
games on.
get it.
You talked about mobile. They have a game out now called Magic Carp Jump, and I was playing that. And when me and Matt went to the E3, the Sony E3 thing.
Oh yeah,
Now that guy was super. Like, he's the guy that keeps video games in business. Like, that guy seemed like he had an IV of Mountain Dew. Just he was on.
He was
You
an
talking about the guy
extreme
we were
gamer.
sitting next to?
Yes.
Oh man. Oh dude. I have his email address. I hope I'll send him a. I don't remember his name, but I will.
Don't say his name out loud.
Yeah. I won't say his name.
His
but
gamer tags.
You know,
Gamer.
you know who
42069.
You know who you are.
Just-
We were at the Dallas PlayStation E3. We were the two cool black dudes,
Yes.
and that dude, he had a wealth of knowledge about
Yes, he
PlayStation
knew.
Did he?
stuff. Like everything.
He was the guy that wanted to platinum every game. Like, he told us that he platinums every game,
Every game he plays.
every trophy, platinum. I was like, no. But he was playing Magic Carp. Like, back to your point, like, this game, if anybody doesn't know what Magic Carp Jump is, it's just a game where you grow a Magic Carp and you eat little berries and you battle by jumping in the air and seeing who jumps the highest. And it's no end.
Yeah.
It's like, fish for another one, do it again.
Yep.
Candy
It's grind.
Crush. Candy Crush.
Here's a little
was like-
reward.
yeah.
Hey, here's something for your trouble. They just get you on that hook.
It makes a little sound too. Yep.
And it's coming to every genre.
Yeah.
You get it in Zelda. The constant loot.
It's in Madden.
Yeah.
Like Madden, you have experience points now.
Yeah.
Like, does 2K?
2K has it. Since
it's the ratings.
Since like 2010 or 2011, they've had
With the
virtual
coins?
console.
Yep.
Or virtual currency. VC.
Yeah. I know we're going off, but is that killing games? Like that?
You know what? You're actually going to something that I thought about. Maybe we can talk about this next week. It kind of leads into microtransactions.
Yeah.
Microtransactions kill games.
That's a show by itself.
Right.
Maybe we'll
give you that next
focus
week.
on that. We'll focus on that next week.
Next week, microtransactions. Stay tuned. But as you were saying, along with whatever you were saying.
With the mobile games.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Well, let's go on to the next topic.
All right.
It kind of goes with the theme of today. So the next topic is the video game controversy that happened when Nintendo first came out.
Oh, goodness.
So there was a report on, was that 2020 or?
Yeah, it was 2020.
It was a news report about when the Nintendo first came out and how parents were very concerned about having a virtual console in the house. I think we got a little clip to just give you a reference point of what we're talking about. This came from the 90s.
It may be the most addictive toy in history, and it's definitely the hottest thing this Christmas. Nintendo video games. They first arrived from Japan 3 years ago, and now millions of American kids are hooked and mesmerized. When they do stop to talk, it's in a language only they understand. Well, John Stossel went out to discover the secret of Nintendo's success, but first he had to find one.
We're still living that.
New York City, early in the morning. Before the toy stores open, they're lined up outside.
Now, real quick, what I wanted to stop and kind of give you a little picture of what is actually going on right here. It looks like an old video from the early 90s, late 80s, as if you took the iPhone and put it into that time frame, and there's just people waiting outside. And this is, mind you, 3 years after the console dropped. There are lines long as people
Just
wait
like you
to
said,
get the
Cody,
iPhone.
We're
still doing it.
Yeah.
They realized back then it works for their sales, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm in line too because the director of 2020 said, Stossel, I hate to ask, but you've got to help me get my kid a copy of Super Mario Brothers 2. This man came all the way from Indiana to get one.
You came 1,000 miles just for this game?
Yes. I've done 7 stores a day for 3 weeks now, and I cannot find it.
That is crazy dedication. Like, really.
I think he might beat you, Cody, in
And
the
that's
Nintendo war.
And that's the worst Mario.
I know it is the
You know
worst
what?
Mario, bro.
Hey, it wasn't the best. I won't say that it was the
At
worst.
the end of the levels, you had to go into the mouth of a hawk. What is that?
Look, maybe he was on LSD.
Hey, Nintendo going Nintendo.
Oh my goodness! I did like the way you could choose a character and they perform different.
Yeah, the characters suck.
I know they did.
Who was Birdo, man? Nobody likes Birdo.
You couldn't choose Birdo.
Was it an enemy?
No. No,
Birdo was in that game.
It was Mario,
Yeah,
Luigi.
Birdo, but you couldn't choose Birdo. You could choose Mario, Luigi, Toad,
and
Princess.
So where was Birdo in the game? Because I remember Birdo everywhere.
Birdo
Did she
was
give
one
you
of
like
the
items
enemies.
or something?
Birdo was one of the enemies.
Yeah, he was the enemy.
He used to spit the eggs out.
I didn't play enough of this
And
game.
he was
It
the
awful.
enemy on every level. Like most of the
Oh,
levels.
yeah. I
Yeah,
know
he
what
was
you're talking about. You
on,
jump
like,
on the
the second
eggs, you pick
level.
them up, and
Yeah.
that game sucks.
And he drove 1,000.
Go back and play it. It's a little bit difficult, but it was actually fun. Once you get past like World 6 or whatever.
My mom bought me that Mario, and I cried. I was like, out of all the Mario,
I'm gonna defend it because I actually spent time to play that game and beat it, and it was actually not that bad of a game.
I beat it too, but
Granted, Bowser was not like the end-all, be-all enemy, which I think he should have been. But whatever.
Well, here's the thing. If they didn't slap Mario on there, it might be remembered as a great Nintendo game.
Yeah. But you expected something.
Yeah, it's just like Metroid Other M. It's not a bad game. It's just a bad Metroid game.
Yes.
Now, this is my opinion, but I feel like the way y'all feel about Super Mario 2 is the way I feel about Super Mario Galaxy. I hated the game. I hated. I felt that they went a little bit too far, and they kind of restricted you, even though you were unrestricted in where you could go and what you could do. It was very difficult for me to actually play through the game and control Mario, and so I didn't like it very much. I played through the first one, and then I just couldn't after that.
Yeah. We're totally off topic. Let's.
It's so hard.
But it was a good conversation though. Like,
all right, move along.
The point is, this guy, even though it was Super Mario 2, he drove 1,000 miles for Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
I have to live with my kids for the rest of the year, so I have to have this on Christmas.
So to please the kids, they line up at the few stores that have been able to get copies of the hottest Nintendo games. Mario 2 and The Adventure of Link.
I have Super Mario Bros. 2.
Now what's Nintendo, you ask, and why should you care? Well, I think it's something you should know about because it's captured America's children. School bus drivers report the kids are talking less about clothes and sports and what Joe did to Jane, and more about...
When you get to those things that go up and down, you just jump on them.
After school, even on the day that brings the first beautiful snowfall of the season. Everyone's eager to get inside the house so they can rush to get to the television set. Now, usually they don't play together. We invited them to a Nintendo party. They pop the cartridge into this deck, which attaches to any television set. These controls direct the characters. The better your eye-hand coordination, the better you do. Never has there been a toy that's been this successful. Bruce Apar is editor of a magazine that follows the industry.
How big a hit is this? This is as big or bigger than anything the toy industry has ever seen. I'll give you one comparison. Barbie, which is an institution, does about $500 million a year. Nintendo does over 3 times as much.
That's a freaking conglomerate.
That's insane.
That is.
And they're still cleaning up.
But here's the thing that I wanted to point out from that particular section is the fact that at that point in time, 3 years after Nintendo came out, and video games have been around for at least 5 years, they were considering it a child's toy. It was considered a toy. It wasn't a console. It wasn't a game.
It wasn't an industry yet. Really?
It was a toy.
Not the way that it is.
That was mind-boggling when I heard that the first time, and like, what? I guess that's all I can say. Is
Nintendo,
what?
Like that really puts it in perspective. Like Nintendo, like they keep like raising the bar.
Yeah.
On games, like
they started the bar.
Yeah.
Now, in a few minutes, they actually did. In a few minutes, they're going to explain a little bit about how Nintendo came to do what they did. So let's listen to that.
Now, why is it so successful? Well, the people in the industry say Nintendo simply has the best games. They come in 2 categories. Sports games such as tennis, hockey, football, boxing. All with good graphics and sound effects. Even more popular are the adventure games like Super Mario. They tend to have ludicrous plots. Mario is an Italian plumber who, under your control, enters the Mushroom Kingdom to fight off killer turtles and deadly ducks until he can rescue the Princess Toadstool.
Koopas, you fool.
Kids love it.
What's good about it?
Birdo. He shoots the eggs out of his nose.
Oh,
and also there's this part where you can't go anywhere except for fall down a pit, but you pick up this thing and then this rocket appears out of nowhere and it flies to another board. It's weird.
And it's a big improvement over the first video games, like Atari's Pong and Space Invaders. Because today's computer chips are better. They have more memory.
There's much more involved in playing the game, much more excitement. There's better use of colors, better use of music. It's not just stick figures anymore.
We have literally over 100 different characters, people, animals, wizards, spells. You see this spread out over different worlds. When I say different worlds, entirely different sets. If you think about the way a movie is produced, there are levels with caverns, and you break into underground oceans.
There's secret holes that you go into.
Pause.
The kids delight in finding new twists to the games, secret passages they didn't discover the first times they played, bizarre new weapons.
You're throwing things that I never even discovered in this game.
Yeah, because you don't know. If you're a grown-up, you hardly do this. If you're a grown-up, you have work to do.
That's a drop.
The chips, the technology.
So that last part where he said that, because you're a grown-up, you don't hardly do this. And they're showing that like it's a kid's game. The average gamer's age today, I looked it up, is 31 years old.
And you know why? Why that is?
Because they're grown now.
Those kids that are in there, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me. We grew up with it.
Those kids are now 31.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just like Matt.
I'm 32. So.
And they're still standing outside waiting on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Hey, we should just have a segment where we'll call it, how much money did Nintendo take from Cody this week? Because I can't help it. I go into a store, like this week, I went into GameStop and found an amiibo I've been looking for since they set up pre-orders for it on Amazon. The Zelda Breath of the Wild Archer amiibo. Super cool.
Man, Nintendo
couldn't find it online anywhere. Walked into GameStop, found it, impulse buy.
Dude,
Nintendo keeps their hands in my pockets.
Wow. You know what's super cool? You know what's really super cool? Feeding your kids.
Nah, overrated.
Sometimes those little buggers like to eat.
Sometimes.
One thing that I wanted to point out from that last thing was just the fact that the grown-ups, the perceived grown-ups in this time frame, they weren't able to think outside the box to use other parts of the environment. And the fact that he was describing these 2D scenes as world was just it was mind-boggling to me, because I'm like, you're saying that is a world, knowing what we know now.
I get knowing what we know now, but I get where they came from, because like when I played Kirby, I was so immersed into that game.
Wizards and caverns and
underground oceans.
You can go anywhere.
Anymore.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
They know how to use shapes and colors.
Over 100 different characters, guys. 100.
It's like a movie.
I can count to 100 right now, but I won't. And next clue. 100.
Technology that goes into this was invented in the United States, yet the Japanese are the ones who make it a hit. Why is that?
Thanks a lot.
Is a 100-year-old company in Japan, and they learned their lessons well.
When buyers lost interest in the first generation of video games about 4 years ago, Nintendo quietly watched as American companies quit the business. Nintendo then bought licenses to the best.
Okay, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go back real quick, because they're sliding through a few different articles, and one of them said Fox quits video games. I had no clue that Fox was even in the video game business.
Fox had video games?
Fox.
What?
Fox, like everybody hates Fox News. Fox was in the video game business before everybody else.
They have a console, or they just made games?
I don't know. Maybe they made games. I don't know.
They clearly didn't make great games because
they got out of the business.
Well, I just don't know any of them. Can't really point to them on anything.
And they learned their lessons well.
When buyers lost interest in the first generation of video games about 4 years ago, Nintendo quietly watched as American companies...
That said Fisher Price. Fisher Price was in video games.
Fox came back, though.
Fox quitting video
Fox
games.
saw that they came back in the SNES. Because remember those Simpson games and stuff like that?
So they were a publisher.
The Tick...
Okay. So I would like to see if we can find some information on this. So this article says, just from the little bit that I can read on here, it says Beverly Hills, California, November 9th, says the 20th Century Fox Film Corporation said it would phase out its video game division, effective, and that's as far as I can see.
Wait, what year? That's the NES, right?
I don't know.
They came back with this. I'm looking at it right now. They came back with the Super NES.
Okay.
1994, they produced a game called The Tick. It came out on the Sega Genesis. I remember that.
Fox did that?
Yes. In
Fox did The Tick?
In 1994. Yeah, that was a Fox show.
They were just publishers, right?
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
You had all the Simpsons. Let's see.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, so like one of the latest, 2006, they had Ice Age 2. Those little
so games that had to do something with their programming.
Yeah, they just had the license.
Okay,
that's it.
Well, I assume that they were making video games.
Nintendo was good enough for them to come back. That's the point.
Yeah,
like they came back with the Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
He's quit the business. Nintendo then bought licenses to the best of the arcade games. They created new games by getting independent designers to compete against each other for the right to work with Nintendo.
Nintendo.
You know what that is? That's a pimp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nintendo were pimps.
Nintendo.
They stole up all the market and came out with their own stuff that they had been developing, and then said, "Hey, y'all want in on this? Hey, go ahead and fight."
Well, you know the whole story with PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo was Drake before Drake was Drake.
Yes. Controller.
So you mean their music put you in the mood, put you in some type of way?
Controller.
Last name greatest, first name ever. Wait, I said that backward.
I don't know.
Last name ever, first name greatest. There you go.
I'm confused.
That's all the Drake that I know.
Controller.
Please hold. One moment. Thank you. May I help you?
And in Seattle, at the company's U.S. headquarters, they listened to the customers. 50,000 people call Nintendo's 800 number every week asking for help with the games. Phones are manned by games fanatics who often play other games while answering questions.
What that is, when you're at that link, though, you're almost at that point.
Okay, what you want to do is, like I said, jump on the guy with the carpet.
In Japan,
Wow.
Hey, hey, Nintendo, how do I get past level 6?
Okay, what you gotta do is, see, you see that little carpet on the right side?
No, it says press start. Which one start?
Hey, are you in there calling long distance again? Get off that phone.
Hold on, Granny.
Okay, so what operating system do you have?
Hey, hurry up. My grandma's getting mad.
Okay.
In there, boy.
I can already tell it sounds like you have an ID10T error.
What?
You have an ID10T error.
So which one do I push?
You pull it.
Oh.
And that's how a typical Nintendo call went.
Wow. They had, what, did they say 50,000?
Yes, they received 50,000 calls a week.
How great was that job?
And this is right. And all they're doing is sitting there playing video games.
This guy was saying, so what you want to do is jump on that car.
They had a big book full of walkthroughs, and they referred to them for each game. They brought that back for the NES Classic for a weekend.
Are you serious?
One weekend, when that system came out, they brought back that hotline.
Wow.
And people actually called for help on these
what
games.
Was in the Nintendo magazine?
Nintendo
Power.
I used to. I never bought one.
I know.
Every time I went to Walmart,
I
would like
now
read the whole
you're
thing.
Playing with power.
I used to have my notepad and write down
the notepad.
Yes,
the notepad.
The notepad. I wish I had a cell phone then. I would have just took pictures.
I was just
yeah.
They did have cameras though back then. Polaroids. You could have did that.
You're rich.
Well,
that could be argued.
Yeah,
that they had cameras back then.
True that.
The games are an even bigger success. These people are upset because even after waiting all night, they were unable to get their kids a new version of a game called Dragon Quest. In the U.S., it's mostly Mario that they want.
The last Super Mario Bros. 2 was just sold. And they get upset. Well, they say, oh, can you take my name? Can you take my credit card, please? Can you do something? My kid wants it. His friend has it, and they're not friends anymore because he doesn't have it.
All this makes me wonder.
Now that I can attest to that.
Why are they not friends?
Because if you were always over somebody else's house playing it, then you became that annoying kid. Like, don't come over my house, because everybody wanted to play it, and you would go over there. We had one, and we had a friend always come over, and they were so annoying. And It's like, dude, stop coming over to my house. Like, real talk.
Oh yeah, I do.
I can't stand.
I do remember
stand
this.
That.
I remember having the Nintendo, and a friend would come. a Nintendo, and a friend would come over, and I would immediately tell him as soon as he knocked on the door, I can't play the Nintendo right now.
Right. As you pause the game and tell him, I got in trouble.
Yeah, I got in trouble.
Mom took it up.
There were, for real, 2 to 3, over the course of my childhood, 2 to 3 friends or people that I knew who had more or better games than me, and I would not otherwise hang out with them, but just, I have to play this game. Yeah. And you were talking about it at school. Okay, I'll come over.
Yeah, some of the people that you couldn't stand.
Yeah,
you would. Oh my god!
And that was how we became social. Like way back in the day, we didn't have social media. We didn't have Bookface, Twitters.
No,
we didn't even have MySpace.
Oh my gosh,
man!
Oh my gosh!
Well,
or chat roulette.
That's a dangerous game you play, son.
Man.
I remember, and also this is a little tangent too. How about when, like, we didn't have social media, so when your mom bought you a game that you hated, but you played it anyway.
Right.
Oh, me first.
Right.
Yeah.
Next question.
That was the worst.
I don't get it.
That was the worst.
When your parents said next question?
No, I was just refusing to answer his question.
Oh, okay. Now I'm up to speed. Yeah.
For me, it was Power Rangers. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah?
It was not what I expected.
You know what? For us, since I lived in probably the most Christian home that you could ever think of.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
It was a game on NES that my parents got us called Spiritual Warfare. We didn't touch that game for a year. But it was
one of those Bible games?
yeah. It was.
This is the game that when you play basketball, you're a sinner. I remember this game.
I have not seen
Dude,
this.
Okay, so just a little bit of background. They didn't believe me when I worked with Xander and another friend. There's another free one for you. I told them about this game, Spiritual Warfare, on NES. They didn't believe me when I told them about it, so I showed them on my phone, and they were making fun of.
Bro, you have audio from that?
Yeah, I still have it.
Oh, we got it.
They were making fun as I was going through and playing the game. It's like the original Legend of Zelda, and but you go around saving people with fruit of the spirit, right?
Oh my!
You just throw it at them, and this fruit kills them. And they turn into angels and they go to heaven. Sometimes demons come out of them.
It was a guy playing basketball.
Yeah.
And he threw fruit of the spirit at him and he went to heaven.
No. The thing that y'all said about the guy playing, you said apparently basketball players can't go to heaven.
Yes.
Because you couldn't throw any fruit at him. Couldn't throw it because he was boxed in. He was in the court. So
what about rappers?
He was just a heathen. I don't think there were any rappers in there.
Basketball.
You know what?
So this game had a featured mechanic where you could cast judgment on people and then see if they were going to.
Not cast judgment. You just throw fruit at them. So you just you're like, hey, this banana looks quite tasty. Bam!
But some of them will turn into demons. Some will turn into.
Well, some of them would have demons come out of them, and then.
But they would all do one or the other. They'd turn into angels and ascend, or
they all would turn into angels. And go to heaven. Some of them had demons.
It's so bad,
but it was hilarious.
Sounds like a good time.
But
it is fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. I suggest you should play it. Everybody should play it. It was amazing. But we didn't play it for like a good year, and then all of a sudden, like my parents took away all of our games. They took away like Mario and everything and said, "Oh, you got to play this." And then like once we started playing it, it was just like, this game is kind of nice.
I didn't feel that way.
You actually liked it?
Yeah. It's actually one of my favorite games. You end up fighting the devil at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
It did have that Legend of Zelda feel
crazy.
to it.
So that's one of those games that I remember from my childhood that was just I hated, but then once I played it, I loved it. Now it's like one of my favorite games.
True that.
Well, we went off topic again, but back to the
never ends.
Wonder, is the shortage real, or are they holding back supplies to increase the mystique?
Yeah, Nintendo.
That's a good question.
denies it, but industry insiders say that's exactly what happened with their Cabbage Patch doll a few years ago. The company shipped fewer dolls to increase the excitement. Today, some people in the toy business suspect Nintendo's holding games back. And while videotaping in Japan, we did see plenty of the hard-to-get cartridges. The company denies that it's holding back.
Believe me, creating a shortage of this kind was nobody's design, and
sounds like a politician.
It's just one of those combinations of
Peter Main, VP of Nintendo North America,
our most optimistic projections and an inability on the chip supplier to fulfill it.
They're still using that one.
Yes.
There's all this. We can't get our parts because we're sharing parts with Apple.
Yeah,
that's the new one.
Yeah,
we're still hearing that from Nintendo.
That's hype 101.
Apple can get their products to millions of people.
Right. Give me a break.
That's hype 101.
AMD or whoever, Intel, they get their chips to billions of people. So you mean to tell me Nintendo has a short? Man, come on, no.
They're masters at this.
Yeah, and
been doing it forever.
Publix eats it up.
This brings us to a final question. Should parents buy these games at all? The National Coalition Against Television Violence thinks they shouldn't because they say they're bad for kids.
I like how you shoot the people with boomerangs and bombs. I just like jumping on things and killing them and shooting things.
The coalition says this will make some kids act violently. Well, I don't know about that, but there's another problem. Watching the kids play, seeing the intensity of their interest, the word obsession comes to mind.
I bet I'm much better than him at Zelda.
How many hours you play a day?
Around 1 or 2.
2 hours a night? When you shouldn't be doing your homework?
Yeah. She doesn't like
This girl's mother doesn't like the game.
because she thinks that you're going brain dead while you're watching it.
Maybe you will be brain dead from staring at this thing all the time.
No.
And while we were talking, Mom was watching all this warily.
Gets their mind off school when they first come home from school, but then it gets their mind totally off school. So we had to take it away for a while because homework wasn't getting done. Bedtime got pushed aside.
What do you mean take it away for a while?
I disassembled it and put it in the back of a closet for a while.
What do you think I mean?
But now you're letting them play again.
Not as much.
Wait, didn't he kind of sound like Chris Hansen?
Yeah, have a seat.
It did.
I disassembled it and I took it up and put it in the closet where they can't reach it.
So we've got the chat logs here. You say, I want to disassemble your Nintendo and ground you. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yes.
That's not what I said. Well, you're free to leave.
So they said, what, 1 to 2 hours a day?
Yeah, they were saying 1 to 2 hours apparently was enough to rot your brain.
Wow.
So
explains a lot.
so like the 6 hours that we spent with the first time we played Minecraft, I guess we're brain dead.
It's over.
Or to the sunrise of Destiny raids.
Oh man.
When you started hearing birds chirp.
When the sun comes up and
that is so shameful.
You still haven't when the sun comes up and you got your icebreaker and you're trying to do the cheat to get you some more Gallahorn shots.
Oh man,
to beat Crota.
Oh my goodness.
All that went over my head. Yeah. I was like, what?
When your alarm clock goes off in the morning.
Right.
And
when your wife comes out of the bedroom and you're on the couch and you're like, just glance over at her.
What are you doing up?
And you try, she's about to ask you, so you're trying to think, how can I tell her I've already fallen asleep and slept for a few hours and I just woke up?
When did you get up?
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. The science was very behind.
Yeah.
Back then. And when they said that the video game violence.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they didn't want to see today.
They're talking about stomping on turtles, stomping on
cartoons,
Mushroom Kingdom people. That's that.
Well, nobody wants to play a video game where you don't have enemies.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a staple of video games.
Point?
I mean, there's some that work in that way, but for it to be competitive, well, I mean, there's some games like Journey, which is really
okay.
You've got some games that are
Intertwine is like that.
They're not classic. You have to kill people to progress.
No Man's Sky, never.
Right?
Yes.
Never.
You just
forget.
kill hills.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Yeah.
In that game, you kill money.
John, what's your feeling after watching this? Does it make them, brain dead, as you said, or isn't there a certain amount of imagination that you have to use for this game?
I think that's true, that it's not just like watching television. You have to use imagination. There are all these ways to handle the games. I think under the right time limits, it's fun.
2 buttons.
In fact, I got one while doing the story, and I'm going to keep it.
For you, or would you give it to your child?
Well, my 3-year-old likes kill ducks, and my wife and I stayed up till midnight.
That's the name of the game.
And you don't mind the so-called violence in it? Kill ducks, kill ducks?
They're animated characters, and I just think you have to pay attention and limit the time, and it's fun.
Now I know how you're spending the holidays, watching Nintendo.
Playing Nintendo.
Playing Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Now on to a much more serious report.
Throwing shade.
Right.
Throwing shade in 83.
Barbara Walters.
All right, enough of this shenanigans here. Let's get to some real stuff.
Now all of America knows how you're spending your nights watching Nintendo. It's playing.
Yeah.
So
#clapback.
I think these topics come up in the news cycle every 2 to 3 years. I recently saw a TED talk that talked about video games, and they were saying how much more your brain is stimulated and able to deal with situations and multitask much better by playing them.
Yeah.
The science behind the science behind, that your brain will rot, I think is far behind. I mean,
that's what they do for anything that's a new fad.
Yeah. That's what they're going to do with fidget spinners.
Why do they always go there? They always go to, it's going to rot your brain. Everything's going to rot your brain.
Remember when they said standing close to the TV?
Yeah.
Now they came out, no, it won't.
And when iPods came out, listening to too much music is going to rot your brain out.
Yeah.
Who are these people that say these?
Now, the thing that they need to be talking about is the food. That's what's going to rot us out.
Yeah, right?
The little Jack in the Box is going to rot us out.
We're listening to fake news.
Yeah.
Trick chicken.
I took 2 things away from this report. One, that the news is the same and operates the same way.
Yeah.
And two, that Nintendo's the same and operates the same way.
Yeah, that's basically it. And
it's such a parallel to today.
And if I remember, so after that, the controversy was Mortal Kombat, about the violence.
Right.
That was probably justified.
Right.
The Mortal Kombat was
violent to be violent.
Freaking, yeah.
They were.
Then one of our favorite games, GTA, came out.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
And Rockstar can't stop selling it.
Oh, no.
They can't stop.
Violence sells.
It's still $59.99 new.
It is. And that doesn't make any sense. That game is, we got that on Xbox 360.
Hey, yes. We did.
I just played it yesterday. I'm
they got the gun
every
runners.
month I'll play it a couple times. Yeah.
This could be a show by itself. How Rockstar gets it right.
I think they've got it right more than any other developer.
We need to wrap that into our topic for next week.
Yes.
In terms of companies handling DLC and microtransactions.
That stands for downloadable content. That's the name of the show.
Oh, that's where that comes from.
That is.
Just in case you didn't know, it's downloadable content.
Yeah, so next week we're going to put that together. We're going to talk about microtransactions, how they benefit gaming, how they hurt gaming, or does it even matter?
Yeah.
So we'll get into that for sure.
So we got our next show, fellas.
Hey, Nintendo lives matter.
And I have to point this out. Me being a big PS4 fan, PlayStation in general, we have talked about Nintendo the majority of the time on both episodes.
Yeah. I mean that's that. I was thinking about that as I was preparing for the show, and I was just like, man, are we really talking about Nintendo as much as we don't necessarily hate Nintendo, but feel as if they are not doing the original gamers right, by not giving us a lot of the games. They are doing a lot of things really well.
And it's just so much nostalgia with Nintendo. I'm still super pumped about the SNES. Still trying to figure out when that pre-order is going to come.
Right.
Because you got to be on top of that all the way.
Well, gentlemen, we've talked about a lot about Nintendo today. I feel like I've learned a lot. We've dealt. I just realized what is on your hat, dude. Nintendo dog.
This whole thing?
He has a camouflage hat on.
And it's Duck Hunt. It's like a camouflage. Dude, put your hat on. You look weird.
It's the Vans. It's from the Vans Nintendo line. It's the Duck Hunt hat. Just search that if you want to see it. It's got the Duck Hunt.
Yeah, Vans got the shoes too.
It's actually it's pretty nice.
Nintendo they got the juice.
Yeah.
OJ.
So Vans, you need to sponsor our podcast,
please.
Why? They make shoes.
I wear your hats every day, Vans.
Hey,
just call me.
Don't they do make vehicles as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. We appreciate all the time that you spent listening to us rabble on about video games. If you want to find more information about who we are, what we do, and just get some more content, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, YouTube. Do we have YouTube yet? YouTube is being in the works.
We will about time you hear this.
We're going to be doing a lot of video game playing and capturing and stuff like that. So
the SoundCloud's up.
Oh, you can also find us on SoundCloud as well at DLC Guys. That is DLC Guys, and you can search for us on Facebook, Twitter, social media.
Soon on iTunes.
SoundCloud soon to be on iTunes and probably Google Play, I assume. Find us on the
RSS feed?
Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, wherever. It doesn't even matter. And just like us. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Children and babies. All of them. Tell them about DLC Guys. And that's it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And have a fantastic day.
What do you think tribal sovereignty means in the 21st century, and how do we resolve conflicts between tribes and the federal and state governments?
Yeah. Tribal sovereignty means that it's sovereign. I mean, you've been given sovereignty, and you're viewed as a sovereign entity.
Okay.
And therefore, the relationship between the federal government and tribes is one between sovereign entities.
What? What is that?
It's some thingy that it's not even funny at all. It's really stupid.
Did your Boston accent just come out? You just funny at all.
At all.
It's not even really funny at all.
At all.
At all.
At all. Might tell you the Sox are really wicked awesome right about now.
How about Tom Brady? No, wait, hold on. That was a little...
They don't say Tom Brady. They say Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the Pats. We're going all the way again this year.
Team Brody.
Team Brody.
Team Brody.
Tom Brody.
Team Brody.
Now, how would somebody from Texas say it? Tom Brady.